Welcome to KIPP 3rd grade Distance Learning Day 23. Today we're going to write about rectilinear figures. Whew, I've been talking about writing about area for a while, so I hope you already know what I'm going to say. But let's just do a quick review. We are so proud of you for working on your math away from school. You are amazing. Now, if you need extra help with rectilinear figures, they're a little different than composite figures. They can be trickier because you have to split the figure and cross out some extra numbers. You could go back to week 2, day 8, okay? Because that's going to be a big part of what we do here. We have reviewed what area means, so I'm going to skip through that a bit today. Because here we have a shape that's 2 rectangles, so it's still going to be an area plus an area. Except for the 2 rectangles don't go together to make one rectangle. They go together and just make a funny shape. So I can't, this is a big no, I can't go like this, like we've been doing the last 2 days. Oops, that should be a plus. I can't do that. What I can do is I can just simplify. I can say I'll do this area, and I'll do this area, and I'll add them together, get my answer. That's all my work's going to be able to look like. Here, 4 rows of 3. Here, 2, so I put that there. Here, 2 rows of 5. And then I can add that 12 to that 10 and get 22. That's what my work has to look like, because it doesn't make a big rectangle. I can't put this and this together, 4 and 2 together, call it one big thing. I mean, I can call that 6, but then 6 rows of what? 6 rows of 3 and 5? Doesn't make sense because they don't have 3 and 5 both. One of them has 3, the other has 5. Now, the tricky part here is that when it's drawn without the squares inside, it's going to have numbers that you actually don't need to use. Here, when I cut the shape, this number, which was the whole 6, is gone because it's the whole 6, and we just want this shape and this shape. This number, which got extended, which isn't really one big rectangle, that's also gone. So it's harder when there's not as many when there's no squares and it's just numbers, because there are going to be extra numbers in there that we can't use. And our first step is going to have to be cutting it and crossing those numbers out. Now, here's the key. I can write, I cut a cross out, cross out. I did 4 times 3 plus 2 times 5. Then I did 12 plus 10. Then I did 22. But that is just repeating steps. And that is not what we need when we write about math. We need to explain the steps. And so if I want to write this, after each sentence I need a because. After each part I would need a because. I did 4 times 3 plus 2 times 5 because, and this is when we go back to our idea of rows and columns covering a shape, because there are 4 rows of 3 in the top shape and 2 rows of 5 in the bottom shape. I actually don't need to explain much about the cut it, cross out part. That makes 12 plus 10, because the first rectangle is 4 times 3, which makes 12, and the second rectangle is 2 times 5, which makes 10, right? Which makes 22, because I can put rectangles together and add their areas to get the total area. So I'm not just repeating these steps, I have to explain them. Let's look at this example. Here are your choices, or is the math part that you're going to do. And here it says that we want us to explain our words using these kinds of things, right? I don't need to copy these exact steps and explain all these because the steps were there in my brain. Now I need to explain why. I split the shape into 2 rectangles. Here we go. Then I think of it as 4 rows of 2, which is 4 times 2, and 2 rows of 5, which is 2 times 5. It's so silly, but just this bit of adding rows is what I need to explain the fact that I multiplied. This is the word that makes all the difference here. I can put those together to make the whole shape. 4 times 2 plus 2 times 5. All right, now it's your turn. Remember, you are a thinker, you are a hard worker, you don't give up, and we love you.